Robert Eager's latest offering is an example of a film that I would label a must-see. But whether or not this Viking epic is to your liking is another story. A contradiction, but one that will repeat itself in different forms, so I thought, why not pull on this common thread as a basis to kickstart our spoiler-free analysis of the Northman. If I were to try and categorize the Northman, strictly through its visual or outward appearance, I would be inclined to say it's an art house film, i.e. one that is crafted to be a serious artistic work, often experimental, and not designed for mass appeal. And yes, the imagery it showcases would suggest this to be the case, which is even further accentuated as comparisons to David Lowery's The Green Knight continue to be made. This definitely sprung up in my mind as I stepped out of the theater, but is this comparison truly compatible? Well, unlike The Green Knight, which was made within a budget of $15 million, The Northman harbors a comparatively blockbuster dollar tag of $90 million. And we can trace this shift just by noting how Robert Eager's two previous films, along with The Green Knight, were distributed by everyone's favorite A24. The Northman, on the other hand, made the jump up to Focus Features, and while this film production studio does specialize in smaller films, it is still a division of Universal Pictures, and thus a step up from the independent funding realm that A24 can offer. The TLDR, the Northman slides into this in-between world, caught between its art house sensibilities with the production value that sits alongside more mainstream Hollywood flicks. But we can go even further if we now take a look at the plot presented to us in The Northman, which you'll note is incredibly straightforward. We have a son, right, who witnesses his father, the king, being slain by his uncle, oh my god, and thus promises his revenge on said evil uncle. And yes, this is of course the classic tale of Hamlet. And in the spirit of taking it one step further, The Legend of Hamlet, which this movie is about, is the direct inspiration behind William Shakespeare's tragedy.
How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
Crucially, this movie is rather easy to digest, and by that I mean it's easy to follow, and one only needs to look at The Green Knight for an example of the opposite. The plot in that movie is arguably simpler, but ask anyone who's seen that film explain to you what exactly happened.
What? That's what I mean!
And this distinction between easy to digest and not is important when we consider the attributes of art house cinema. While The Green Knight is presented in both body and mind as an Arthurian poem, The Northman keeps it strictly visual when exploring its metaphors and allusions. The plot itself remains focused, and this creates that beautiful balance that Robert Eggers has always toyed with, having his characters exist in the threshold of reality and the supernatural. And there's nothing wrong with this. In fact, I personally prefer what this modernized Viking saga attains by keeping the plot simple enough for the wider audience, and that is its rewatchability. It's an experience worth admission, and one that I can easily see myself revisiting on any given Sunday afternoon. The Green Knight, on the other hand, requires a certain mood or mindset to really enjoy. It's art house, and well, that's fine as well. Picture, if you will, a $20 bill that has fallen off your pocket and into the crevasse between the sofa arm and cushion. A year passes, and then the next time you're about to sit down to watch your favorite Alpaca Thunder Bros, like and subscribe by the way, you find this little guy. You are thankful that you found it, but even more so, that it exists. And that, my friends, is the magic, the splendor of The Northman. Thank you for watching.
We've been receiving so many calls asking about this marvelous airship, the Spirit of Freedom. not be passing over our area soon. I'll let you know as soon as we have more information available. But first, here's the weather forecast. Skies are clearing up thanks to a high-pressure front moving in from the mountains.